I'm just going to say it here. I really love this episode big time, and you're going to see why. This is Mega Man NGN, and today I'll be providing my thoughts on another TMNT Season 1 episode. We are now at episode 6 of 26. I still got a long way to go before I end up reaching all the way to the end of Season 3. So let's get started with my thoughts on today's episode, Metalhead. And boy, this one's going to be the most fun I'll ever have. Here's the deal. I'll provide a little summary as well as my overall thoughts and some main points that I think you may find rather interesting. Let's get started. After a fight with the Kraang that ends pretty well, Donnie decides to get a much-needed upgrade. In this case, recovering a damaged Kraang body and reformats it, giving it new life and giving it the codename Metalhead, thanks to Mikey. April, on the other hand, investigates in hopes of finding a way to rescue her father from the Kraang, but she ends up hearing their plan to fill the city's water supply with mutagen, turning humans into mutants. But during a little bit of a skirmish that happens afterwards, something goes wrong. Metalhead ends up getting captured and reprogrammed by the Kraang, and seeing his brothers in trouble, Donatello is forced to he's left with no choice. Can he be able to save them and stop his own creation from causing massive havoc? Yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. For starters, this episode is focused on Donatello, and there are a few reasons why. For we all know that Donnie is the brains of the TMNT. He does machines, he studies them, he knows how to use them well, but at the same time, he's also someone that really does care for his brothers. Even when they're in danger, he's always first on the scene and makes sure to get the job done. And it shows. This episode also gives us our first look at Metalhead, and compared to the 1987 version, who was like a villain, this one was completely built by Donatello that would help the turtles out. He did it because, well, seeing that the other turtles have better weaponry than him, and all Donnie has is a stick, a bow staff, he decides to get some more added firepower, and Metalhead is like a one-man army. He pretty much is armed to the teeth, and the way how Donnie controls him is like a video game. It really did help out in the fight, but it also became a threat when the Kraang reprogrammed him to take down the turtles. And take down he did, which also shows a bit of a flaw that Donnie has. Sometimes his machines do well, other times things would go pretty bad. At least in this case. It could have been a lot worse, but at least thankfully Donnie was able to save the day. And yeah, there's also a bit of a running gag in this episode. Here's why. Throughout the earlier episodes, Donnie would always get his bow staff broken in some ways, whether it be broken apart, blasted, etc. For some reason, I find this rather hilarious because even though Donnie is the brains, he ends up getting the short end of the stick, and I feel really bad for the guy. And yeah, Donnie can be able to modify his bow staff into a chainsaw. No, that's Mikey. I think it's like a Odachi or something. I don't know. He has like a little bit of a knife inside there that he could use. But at the same time, I wish Donnie could at least get like a secondary weapon instead of just a staff. Though eventually the staff is the go-to weapon for Donatello, as he shows in the episode on how he used the staff to actually beat down Metalhead and save it. Really goes to show how things could be quite different, thanks to some, words of wisdom from Master Splinter. And in the end, Master Splinter praises Donnie for his hard work in not only being able to save the day, but also prevent the Kraang from using the mutagen to, cause trouble for the city. All because he used a staff. A bow staff, or in this case, a stick. I'm sorry, I find that rather funny that he ends up with a stick. There is some interesting trivia from Metalhead as far as the episode goes. Like, for example, you know how Metalhead is armed with weapons? He's got flamethrowers, he's got lasers, etc. Well, one little bit when Metalhead shoots out his robo arm and strikes down some of the Kraang. You know what that reminds me of? Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, when Big Boss launches his rocket-propelled hand. His artificial hand, he uses that hand as a weapon to pretty much knock down some bad guys. Pretty funny. Not to mention Donnie controlling Metalhead as he did in the episode. He was playing it like a video game similar to the NES. You know how the controller is similar like a Famicom, like an NES controller? Yeah, that's pretty nice. I like these hints. But also the episode really hinting of Donatello April shipping. Yeah, it hinted at it a lot, especially when Donnie kept seeing April and having a crush. Too bad April kind of heard everything and that didn't end well for him. That was just, wow. It's kind of cute and kind of nice. And since we are 6 episodes in, these episodes are going to keep getting better. And yeah, Metalhead has already been saved, and we will be seeing him again later throughout the series. hopefully on the Allies side. This episode's great. I give it a 9. I love it a lot. It was a really good episode focusing on Donatello, and it also provided some good character development from him. The action is great, the humor is on point, and I really liked it big time. But the action really nailed it in for me, especially with the fighting with Metalhead and how the Turtles got their butts kicked by Metalhead. They actually got their butts kicked by Metalhead earlier when he first appeared. And then after that, well, when he was possessed by the Kraang, it didn't go well. It really didn't. But like I said, Donatello saved the day and nailed it. I really like this episode a lot. And I feel rather sad that I missed out on these. Well, thankfully, I've got a lot more episodes to catch up on, so next week you're getting 2 more episode reviews from me, and I'm going to keep going all the way till the end of Season 1, then to Season 2, and then Season 3, and that'll be that. I will be providing my thoughts on each season as a whole, and then as like a big series review. Hopefully in time for when the 2018 series comes. The only thing I hope for is that Nickelodeon doesn't screw it up. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, yeah, that is pretty much it for this episode review. Next week, you're getting 2 more, with the first one being Monkey Brains. This will be quite interesting. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. It really does mean a lot to me. And I will see you guys next week for more episode reviews. This is Mega Man NJ signing off. Peace out. Booyakasha!